Welcome back to Bible Shorts, episode 81. The Assyrians invade. Last week we learned how God had sent prophets to the people of Israel and to Judah, warning them that they were not following His commandments and that they were in danger of being invaded by the Assyrian armies who were conquering city after city and now moving down the coast to invade the Philistine cities. Israel and Aram joined together, thinking they could pool their armies and fend off the Assyrians. They tried to get the king of Judah, Ahaz, to join them, but he refused. So, Aram and Israel invaded Judah. They laid siege to Jerusalem, hoping to kill Ahaz and put someone else on Judah's throne who would join them against the Assyrians. The prophet Isaiah comes to Ahaz with a message from God, telling him not to worry, but remain faithful and trust in the Lord. Isaiah tells Ahaz that the king's plan to dethrone him will not succeed. Ahaz can be assured that both countries will soon be lying in ruins. Ahaz is not to seek help elsewhere. But Ahaz does not believe Isaiah or the word of the Lord. Ahaz sends a gift of silver and gold found in the treasury and the temple to Tiglath-Pileser, the Assyrian king, saying, "I am your servant. Come and rescue me from the king of Israel and the king of Aram." The siege of Jerusalem fails, and the Assyrians then capture Aram's capital, Damascus, killing Aram's king, and then invade Galilee and Gilead in Israel, taking many Israelites captives away to Assyria. Then Judah's king Ahaz went up to meet the Assyrian king in Damascus, and he saw an elaborate temple and altar in Damascus for its city god. And he liked it so much, he copied the altar in Jerusalem. He worshipped to the Assyrian gods at the altar he had copied from Damascus. And then he dismantled the wheeled stands outside the Jerusalem temple and took the bronze sea off the bronze oxen and put it on the ground. Scholars wonder if he might have needed the bronze to continue paying his tribute to the Assyrian king. Then the Assyrians came down and captured Israel's capital, Samaria, and took away more Israelites away to Assyria. And then they moved people into Israel from other areas they had conquered. God's message to Ahaz had come true. Israel and Aram were defeated. Then, after King Ahaz dies, his son Hezekiah becomes king of Judah. He was 25 years old when he became king, and he was very different from his father. He was going to listen to God and to Isaiah. In the first year of his reign, in the first month, he opened the doors of the house of the Lord and repaired them. Hezekiah assembled the priests and the Levites and said to them, "Listen to me, priests and Levites, sanctify yourselves and sanctify the house of the Lord, the God of your ancestors, and carry out the filth from the holy place." The priest agreed and set to work. They went into the house of the Lord and brought out all the rubbish they had found there and carried it out to the dump in the Wadi Kidron. The temple was ready for worship again. The Levites stood with the instruments of David and the priests with the trumpets. Then Hezekiah commanded that the burnt offering be offered on the altar. And when the burnt offering began, the song to the Lord began also, and the trumpets accompanied by the instruments of King David of Israel. The whole assembly worshiped. The singers sang, the trumpeters sounded, and all this continued until the burnt offering was finished. And when the offering was finished, the king and all who were present with him bowed down and worshipped. King Hezekiah and the officials commanded the Levites to sing praises to the Lord with the words of David and of the seer Asaph. They sang praises with gladness, and they bowed down and worshipped. Then King Hezekiah sent word to all Israel and Judah that they should come to the house of the Lord at Jerusalem to keep the Passover to the Lord, the God of Israel, for they had not kept it in great numbers as prescribed. So couriers went throughout the land with letters from the king and his officials, as the king had commanded, saying, O people of Israel, return to the Lord, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, so that he may turn again to the remnant of you who have escaped from the hand of the kings of Assyria. Many people came together in Jerusalem to keep the festival of unleavened bread. They set to work and removed the altars to false gods that were in Jerusalem, and all the altars for offering incense they took away and threw into the Wadi Kidron. The people celebrated the Passover at Jerusalem for 7 days. The Levites and the priests praised the Lord with singing and cymbals. The people enthusiastically worshiped the Lord and confessed their sins. They were so keen, they all decided to continue the celebrations for another 7 days. They were filled with great joy. Reforms were made in the temple worship to return it to the way that God had commanded. King Hezekiah asked the people to support the priests and Levites again so that they could spend their time taking care of the temple duties, and the people responded generously. The Lord had blessed his people. What happens next? Look for episode 82. The Assyrians come back.